All right, I am joined by Julian Gallardi from Grunt Talk MLB. He's also a fan-sided contributor. Julian, how's it going, man?
Hey man, thanks for having me on. Excited to be here. So I know you wanted me to talk a little about what I do. So Grunt Talks MLB is our company. We do baseball videos. We have football content as well. We write articles. We have a big YouTube channel, Grunt Talks Nation. Everyone should check out. Our website is Grunt Talks MLB. We do our podcast as well, Grunt Talk Sports. My co-host and best friend Bobby Thompson. We're overseen by Darren Climbs, the CEO of Grunt Talks, and he does all the behind the scenes work. So that's how the three of us rock. We did hire a few new other people as well. So that's what we have going on right now. Fan site, I started doing a little bit on the side. I do some Rams writing and some Mets writing as well. Keep myself sharp, but I do enjoy my writing. So that's what I've been into. Just took a few trips, but now I'm back. Yankees had a tough loss yesterday, so let's get to it.
Yeah. So before we jump into that, tell me about you. How did you get into baseball? Like, what was
Uh,
your
it,
was there a person or like a specific
yeah.
reason that kind of got you into it?
Yeah, I've been following the game since I was young. Gotta give
Yeah.
credit to my dad. He used to play
Same,
and
same.
stuff. He wanted me early on to it. My first Yankees game, I was like 7 or 8, rolling into the old stadium. Just fell in love with the game. I like other sports too, but nothing gravitates my attention quite like baseball, especially the grinds of 162. Some people say it's too much. Nah, man, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I love having the game every day. It's fun, and I don't think the game's too long or anything. I'm not trying to appease all these millennials or anything. Like I just like stop
Yeah.
messing with our game. Like some stuff, okay, like universal DH, let's do that. Sure,
Yeah.
like a few things I can understand changing, but I don't need to shorten games and all that. Like just don't mess it up. Yeah, I just love it, and I'm all about Yankees ball. That's what I cover every day, basically.
Yo, that's funny because so you're Puerto Rican and Cuban. Is your dad Puerto
Yep.
Rican or your mom?
My father is Cuban and my mom is Puerto Rican.
Okay, so my dad was Puerto Rican. He was born in Puerto Rico. He grew up in New York, actually. So he was a big Yankees fan
Yeah.
all his life until he moved to California when I was
Okay.
right before I was born. So that's in like 88, 89 when like Oakland was just crushing it, right? They won the
Oh
World
yeah,
Series and all.
right. Mm-hmm.
So he started following the A's just
Okay.
since we moved here. And that's kind of how I grew up covering and watching them. And like same with you, man. Die hard since I was a kid,
Yeah.
season ticket holder, all that stuff. So like that's how my dad got me into it too.
Yeah.
But not and I say this, man, the Yankees, they've been the heartbreaking for as a fan of Oakland, from the Jeter flip to all that stuff. Like I feel
Yeah.
like the Yankees and the Tigers have been like the just have crushed the A's when it comes to the
Yeah,
postseason.
those good Tiger teams.
Yeah,
Yep.
including that wild card like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, so I'll say something that you has that brought my attention. My parents also were born and raised in the city for the most part. My dad was from Cuba as well, but he mainly grew up in the city, same as my mom. So that's why I got the city roots with the Yankees, even though I live in Jersey right now. But I'm right close to the bridge, easy drive without traffic. So I go to as many games as I can. Don't have season tickets actually, but almost seems like I do, especially this year. But I make it work somehow. But yeah, Yankees, A's, we struggle out with the Coliseum. The Yankees don't play well in the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought after those first 2 games, we were going to at least win at least one of the last two. So I know you got to be happy with the split, obviously. I wanted to win, especially that last game. Like the Montez game, I can understand the loss a little bit more. That last game was there to be had. It was so sloppy. Defense was a mess on both sides. We don't score for Montgomery again. And now we're still out west in Anaheim. But it was a good series, competitive for sure. And it's possible they can play in the playoffs again because the Yankees kept the A's in the wild card race. Boston's kind of looking a little sketchy right now. Maybe they'll fall out of it. So we'll see.
For sure. And so talking about the Yankees, they've had an up and down season, like all season. They were 12-14 the first month of April. Then they had a good month of May, and they were kind of, feeling themselves a little bit. And then June wasn't that great, but since then, like I think in the last 30 games, they're 23-7. They had a 13-game win streak that ended in Oakland.
Yep.
So what has been the reason, I guess, for their ups and their downs and for the recent success?
Well, I think there's a lot of roster turnover too. In the beginning of the year, a lot of things weren't right. They add Rizzo and Gallo. That helps the team a lot, even though both of them haven't been playing up to par, really, especially Rizzo since come up the COVID IL. But just the thought of having them in the lineup, I think, has been a big difference. The pitching's actually been pretty good this year. They hit a rough stretch before the trade deadline, kind of. The offense has been very anemic at times this year. It hasn't been what I've expected, really. Really, you look at only two guys this year that have been playing up to standards on the offense for me. It's Aaron Judge, of course, because he's the best hitter on the team still. And now Giancarlo Stanton. He's been hot and cold, but now it's hot, and he's looking like the back of his baseball card is going to look pretty normal soon. So other than those two, it's a lot of streakiness. Even Stanton gets streaky sometimes. The pitching and the bullpen's been a problem too. Like they've been blowing these leads with a bullpen that we're not used to them seeing blow. Chapman hasn't been right. So I think those are some main reasons. The starting pitching's been better than I expected, to be honest with you. So I don't really put too much on them, but that's how I see it.
No, that's kind of how I've seen it too. And I feel like a lot of teams this season, like the offense hasn't really been there for a lot of teams. And I don't know whether it's from, and then I guess I can't really say the sticky stuff anymore because that's kind of changed.
Rid of it, yeah.
But even then, you've seen a little bit of an uptick. But that's kind of how the game is nowadays. Like, it's a lot of swing and misses. You don't see a ton of.
Yeah.
I think like the Astros maybe are one of the only teams that really just hit the ball. Like they're so good.
Yeah,
high batting averages.
Yeah,
you don't see them.